we are back in the Lighthouse Diary. Okay, I don't think I mentioned this before, but the stand that is for LJ and also for this new Samsung, new Samsung phone. I know new is subjective as time goes by, as the internet goes by. This stand, I decided to name him Simon. It wasn't intentional alliteration. It's just, I don't know. Stand, Simon the Stand. I'd rather name him Simon than Stan. Let's put it that way, okay? But anyway, we're back also. What is going on? We are back with the physical Lighthouse Diary. Naturally, as I, foreshadowed and explicitly said earlier. So let's get into it. It's a shorter one, but I don't know if I'm gonna get too deep either way. So I will basically share what I think is appropriate to share in this moment, and I think whatever is meant to be shared later, again, will be shared later because, again, look, I literally just started the physical Lighthouse Diary. So, okay, so this message is written September 22nd. So here you go. Yes, quoting from last time. Dreams are coming true. God is not playing. Okay. Oh, sorry. I know this is a strange place to start, but visualize something with me for a moment. Imagine someone you either dislike from your past or, someone that just rubs you the wrong way or has rubbed you the wrong way or whatever the case may be, insert situation. Hear me out though. Imagine them with their lips closed. Their head is bowed very calmly. They are facing a giant throne. The throne is so grand and tall that you cannot see the face of who is sitting on it. You are well aware of who is sitting on it though. This moment of surrender is very peaceful, very tranquil. Now imagine that person with an expression of having gratitude for learning something valuable, joyful even. They could be dancing or greeting someone like a friend. Now freeze that image in your mind. You are witnessing this person connecting emotionally to the Most High. Relax your body into this visualization. Take your time with it. I'll give you a second. Whatever feelings are coming up with this visualization, don't judge it. Basically, if there is discomfort, if there is apathy, if there is indifference, if there is some kind of relief, allow that feeling to be there. And also, this just came up. Just know that God is not judging your feelings, okay? So, you just prayed for an enemy. This might have been uncomfortable, or not. However, you know that you are going to be okay. You are in good hands. Capitalize G for good, capitalize H for hands. For obvious reasons. This is not to disrespect the person in front of the throne. At the same time, you do not owe an explanation to this person. Insert situation that might be happening, that you might be keeping under wraps at the time, or you only disclose to somebody that you trust, whatever the case may be. And that is what has been expressed in the Espresso Yourself Lighthouse Diary. Okay, a little confession time. when is it not confession time in the Lighthouse Diary? So, honestly, like, I didn't even have to reveal too much, but, yeah, this acquaintance from last time, when we were sitting at the cafe for my friend's performance, yeah, could already see one piece of my puzzle, my path. And obviously, it's very explicit here in the Lighthouse Diary. You see me being a goof. You see me being sing-songy in my sentences sometimes. You see me, you know, if you're connected to me on what I call KLM, or in my mind, Kaylee Lighthouse Music, the channel itself is simply just Kaylee Lighthouse. Yeah, you'd see me like kind of experiment with ideas and like me singing it out loud. And you know, this person doesn't know about, you know, the Lighthouse Diary, what we have here, and so on and so forth. But knows enough about me that music is a big part of my life, a big part of my path, a big part of... Sorry, just a second. Oh, do you see that? Do you see it? I'm sorry, I had to get them in the diary, okay? I had to get them in the diary. Yeah, and like, honestly, like, anyone who meets me in the music community in Toronto, like, it's not hard to figure out that, like, yes, part of what I do is vocal work. It's me and Greg the Jingle Bells, and we're like, and obviously my friends like Din of F105 and Kevin Wilson Scott of Kevin Wilson Scott. And Pat and Jody and everyone in the community that I hold dear to my heart. Child. Oh, I think there's like an update situation, or like someone's texting me or whatever. Anyway. And let's just say, yeah, going back to the cafe, this acquaintance was asking me, have you, something along the lines of, have you experienced any success or fame, you know, related to that? Yeah. And it wasn't the question itself that I was kind of stunned by. It was just more about how it was asked. Yeah, I could tell that, what's the word for it? He was kind of squinting at me with like eyebrows furrowed as he was asking this question. I mean, like, thinking about it, you know, quietly, it's just like, oh, that was really uncomfortable, but me retelling it's actually kind of hilarious. But yes, I mean, I do acknowledge I'm not viral by any means. I am not universally popular. I am not universally well liked. And that's just is what it is. But I just answered back saying, like, you know what? I feel like I have experienced it, you know, on a personal level. And what made me, like, intensely uncomfortable was when he laid a hand on my arm. I think like right here. That's pretty close to my boobs, okay? So it's just like, that's a pretty intimate part in my humble opinion. Yeah, I think it was like around here. And excuse my language. I always have to ask my language to be excused. Lord Jesus. Yeah, I think that was the thing that was just like, hold on a second, what's going on? And then, you know, he's just like, you know what? I'm glad for you. But I could tell there was almost sarcasm in that response to what I said. I could really feel the insincerity. And I don't know if I made it super explicit, but that is my turnoff in a conversation, is insincerity. And I'm really relieved that the Most High, our Father, he was just like, you know what, like, it's okay. It's okay that you don't like insincerity, because, like, I don't like it either. Like, that's why you don't like it, because I don't like it. And I'm just like, Dad. Daddy. Dad to the D, okay? I was just like, but yeah, obviously I was, being spiritually comforted in that very interesting conversation. However, I'm still grateful. Like, there's obviously so much more to the conversation I could get into. Like, maybe I should, like, break it down bit by bit. I don't want to make it like a mega series or anything, but what I want to say though right now is that I'm still grateful that that question was had, because I'm actually so used to people saying like, oh yeah, you sing, what else do you do, and then eventually, of course, like, the question comes up like, but what do you do for money? And I know that we're still in a world where there's this understanding, or like this stigma. Yeah, there's this stigma that's just like art and money are like enemies, and that is not true. That's absolutely not true. I can absolutely attest to that. I can absolutely attest to that. Yeah, again, it's like I said, like, I am not a pop star by any means. I'm not an influencer, not at all. But at the same time, this has been like coming up today, as I'm recording this, the 24th of September. I was dressing up and I was thinking to myself, like, you know what? Like, at the end of the day, fame and success, it's very similar to beauty, like, in the sense that sorry, it's just like when I hear like motors like I don't know why I think of like it's cars farting or something. Okay, Kaylee, grow up. Anyway, but yeah, I feel that fame and success, especially these days in the age of the internet, like, it has come down to being like subjective to basically the audience or the person that is receiving the subject or the object. Like, correct my grammatical knowledge or lack thereof. I think you know what I'm saying. Like, I'm gonna give an example. Like, say for example, my baby Angela Lansbury. I would argue, like, on an objective level, she is a celebrity. But to some people, like, who aren't into musicals or aren't like into mystery drama, or probably just aren't movie buffs at all, they probably would have like no idea who Angela Lansbury is. But yeah, obviously that's not to like compare her to me. Like, no. I just love talking about Bae. I have a whole like series about Bae, and like it's not a secret, okay? Like, Angela has touched our hearts in the Lighthouse Diary, okay? Like, it's not a secret, all right? So, but yeah, and I think actually, if we connect like really, really deep on Instagram, you would remember a video that I referred to about, yeah, I think there was this girl calling in to a podcast. I think she was in high school or something, and she was basically talking about like, hey, I'm being bullied right now. I just don't really know how to handle it. And I think, yeah, I'm going to try and paraphrase like the response of like the host of that podcast. He was answering like very kindly to this girl over the phone, saying, you know what, I think, yeah, basically what was being said is that, bullying is about attitude, like, in that circle is basically what's happening. So like, and he goes on to use like real life example, like, say for example, when it comes to cars, like, people who are like really into cars, they're going to say like, oh, this is like this is like a really good car, that's like a mediocre car, this is like a bad car, like it's just like, why does it even exist? And it's basically a very similar idea with like this girl who, I don't know, I like, correct me if I'm wrong, it sounds like she is a TI, targeted individual, and in that circle, in that generation of that kids in that specific place, there's just something that they're like nitpicking about this girl, and you know, they just don't want to be friends with her, you know, like ostracizing her and that kind of thing. And but yeah, what am I trying to say with that example? Actually, yeah, let's think about that girl for a second, okay? Like, I don't know her name, I never met her, obviously. I only know her through the context of this podcast that, like, I shared with, you know, if we're intimate on Instagram, or like relatively intimate on Instagram, like you would know which video I'm talking about. I'm thinking, if anything, I'll just like link it down there, remind me in case I didn't put it in the description. But yeah, I would argue for that girl in that community, her being bullied and her being picked on, I would argue that she is famous in that community, you know, because she clearly has drawn attention from these people who don't like her. And again, not to drag anything from the past, like drag anything from somebody else's past, but like these people who are like picking on her, these people who are ostracizing her, they're making her famous in their community. And honestly, I have no intention of sharing this Lighthouse Diary entry with this acquaintance that I'm not gonna lie, like on the brink of defending my relationship with God, and like, you know, the path that he has for me, and like us like collaborating, me and God. Like I was extremely tempted to like get a little either vicious, lethal, emotional, like in that conversation with this acquaintance. I was this close to doing that. And I know that, like, you know, God was like patting me gently, like, you don't have to like make a point to this person. So like I was able to, you know, quiet down myself to some degree, but I did want to be, you know, just sincere, not to like be like a holier than thou, like to this person, like I'm more sincere than you, like no, not like that, but you know, just to kind of like contrast and like balance out the situations, just like, you know, but yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say, like, to this person, if they were to ever stumble across this, which I highly doubt, there are people in the community that doubt why I'm in the community, and like question, like, who is this girl? What is she doing? Like, she's an a cappella singer. Like, what? Like, she might as well just be doing karaoke, or like whatever the case may be. It's just like, why is she being super extra here? Why is she like quiet and like timid in other performances? She doesn't know how to like do things professionally. She's not like as polished as I am. I get that. Yeah, I guess like some people might question in their minds, like, you know what, she seems kind of fake, like I don't think she should be here, I don't think she's the real deal, I don't think she's like passionate enough, I don't think she's like promoting the way that, you know, artists are supposed to properly like promote themselves. Like, what is she doing here? And it's funny though, because like I'm still grateful for those, you know, those mixed emotions towards me. Like, you know what I mean? I mean, when I set out to, you know, put my vocals out there in the city, it's not to, I have no intention of, like, for lack of better words, like offending anybody, or I mean, sometimes I will troll like here and there, just for the shits and giggles, because sometimes I have goofy ideas for performances, and I like to be goofy in front of, you know, whoever I feel close with in the community, but like it's not to like, I don't have an intention of like wasting your time or anything like that. It's just but yeah, I can understand like why performers like in this community is just like everything is like a constant audition, right? When in reality it's just like, okay, this is me having an in-person like portfolio for you. You can hear my vocal range, you can hit like you can hear my lower register, the deepest part of my lower register. You can hear like the brighter, chipper of my higher register. Like, and if you like what you're hearing, if you want to work with me, I'm all for it. Or even if you just want to hang out with me, I'm for that as well. Like, it's neither here nor there. Like, I'm not gonna hold you to something to like force you to buy something. Like, it's not like that. It's not like that. It's not like that. So, yeah, I think that's the best way I can reply to that person. I don't want to like carry that situation in my heart to the point where like I'm gaslighting myself as to like why I'm doing what I'm doing, right? But yeah, like let's say for example, I fit more closely to the objective like standard of like fame and like glitz and glamour and that kind of thing, right? It's just like, what I'm trying to say with that is that I have to trust that God is there, like in that, and that no matter like what platform, you know, God allows me to have, that, you know, it's like it's our understanding, you know what I mean? It's like it's not for everybody else to understand. So, but obviously you understand like riding with me in the Lighthouse Diary for so long, like you understand what it's about. So yeah, I pray that this didn't come across as like overly like scummy or defensive or anything like that. I pray this didn't rub anybody the wrong way, and if it did, I apologize. But yeah, feel free to support somebody else if I make you feel like, oh, she's so full of herself, oh, she has such a big head, oh, she's so arrogant, oh, she's so entitled, she's so self-centered. Like, those feelings you have toward me are valid. They are valid. I do have selfish moments. I do. And yeah, obviously God is working on my heart in that area as well, and I just want to basically emphasize that, you know, that part, like, God notices that and is just like, you know, kind of like molding me to be more like him, molding me to, you know, be more like tight with Jesus. Okay, so it's just like, let's be real. So yeah, feel free to laugh at me, feel free to question my journey, feel free to question my motives, feel free to question my logic or lack thereof. I'm used to it. And that's it for today. We are out for the physical and, you know, traditional verbal Lighthouse Diary. Stay safe, stay cozy, stay sincere to your tight-knit self. I know you understand what I mean by that. And last but not least, can I hit that note?